There was once a young monk who lived in a monastery with his master. He was diligent in his practice, but he often felt unhappy and dissatisfied with himself. He thought he was not good enough, not smart enough, not wise enough. He compared himself to his master and his fellow monks, and he felt inferior and unworthy. One day he decided to leave the monastery and seek enlightenment elsewhere. He packed his belongings and went to his master to say goodbye. His master smiled and gave him a small wooden box. "This is a gift for you," he said. "Open it when you feel ready." The young monk thanked his master and left the monastery. He wandered from place to place, looking for a teacher who could show him the way to enlightenment. He met many wise and holy people, but none of them could satisfy his thirst for knowledge and peace. He also faced many hardships and dangers on his journey, but he endured them with courage and perseverance. He traveled for many years, until one day he found himself in a remote village in the mountains. He was tired and hungry, and he had nowhere to go. He knocked on the door of a humble hut, hoping to find some shelter and food. A kind old woman opened the door and welcomed him in. She offered him some rice and tea, and asked him about his story. The young monk told her everything: how he left the monastery, how he searched for enlightenment, how he met many teachers and learned many things, but still felt empty and restless. He also told her about the wooden box that his master gave him, which he had never opened. The old woman listened attentively, and then said, "You have traveled far and wide, but you have not found what you are looking for. You have learned many things, but you have not understood yourself. You have seen many wonders, but you have not appreciated yourself. You have been looking for enlightenment outside, but you have not realized that it is within you." She then took the wooden box from his hands and opened it. Inside there was a small mirror. She handed it to him and said, "Look at yourself in this mirror. What do you see?" The young monk looked at himself in the mirror. He saw his face, which was worn out by years of traveling and suffering. He saw his eyes, which were filled with sadness and doubt. He saw his mouth, which had uttered many words but had not spoken the truth. He felt a surge of emotion in his heart, and tears started to flow from his eyes. He realized that he had been running away from himself all this time, that he had been harsh and cruel to himself, that he had not loved or respected himself. He looked at the old woman and said, "Thank you for showing me this mirror. Thank you for reminding me of who I am. Thank you for helping me appreciate myself." The old woman smiled and said, "You are welcome, my son. You have done such a great job on your journey. You have grown so much as a person. You are good, you are enough, and I am proud of you. It is time to fully appreciate yourself and be proud of yourself this time." The young monk felt a warm glow in his chest and a calmness in his mind. He felt a sense of gratitude and joy that he had never felt before. He bowed to the old woman and said, "Thank you for your kindness and wisdom. You are like a mother to me." The old woman hugged him and said, "You are like a son to me." They sat together in silence, enjoying each other's presence. The young monk had finally found enlightenment. He had finally found himself. The moral lesson of the story is that we often seek happiness and fulfillment outside ourselves, but we forget that the source of true peace and joy is within us. We should not compare ourselves to others or judge ourselves harshly, but rather appreciate ourselves for who we are and what we have done. We should be gentle and compassionate with ourselves and recognize our own worth and potential. We should also be grateful for the people who support us and guide us along the way. By doing so, we can find enlightenment and happiness in ourselves.